Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell in your afternoon drive. Let's talk some hot stove. Let's get back into the Rookie of the Year real quick before we get into Juan Soto. Just because I wanted to give people an appreciation of Luis Gil's season. And if you think this is Rookie of the Year material, and I'm not trying to downplay the dude. He played a really nice role with the New York Yankees this year. But when you're it's a big deal to me for somebody to win like Rookie of the Year. I just think that, it shows that, listen, you kicked some serious butt this year, and when people look back at this, if you have a 15-year career and possibly you're up for the Hall of Fame and they start doing the research and they're like, oh, yeah, look at this guy's rookie campaign. It was unbelievable. Like Hideo Nomo. When you're talking about Hideo Nomo's the last National League pitcher to win Rookie of the Year and play in an All-Star game. That's what we're talking about with Paul Skeens. Okay, Luis Gil, like Ben said, he pitched in parts of 3 of the last seasons. Yes, he had 46 innings pitched prior to this year, but the dude threw 150 innings this year, started 29 games. Okay. Everything is great, but you're also on an all-star team. You're on a $300 million team. You're 15-7 with a 3.5 ERA, which is very, that. Let's go back to the start of the season for Gil. April has a 4 ERA and he's 3-2. Pretty good month. This is where he's Rookie of the Year to me, if he continues this the rest of the year. 6-0 with a 0.7 ERA in the month of May. 6 1/3, 6, 6, 6, 6 1/3, 8 innings pitched. Great. He's 7-1 at that point. The team won all 6 of those games. Here's where he goes downhill the next month. June, 6.4 earned run average. He's 3-2 in that month with the team. He's 2-2 as far as his personal record. His ERA jumps from 1.8 to 3.1. Then he has a pretty decent month of July leading up to the All-Star game where he's on the All-Star team. He is 2-2 personally. The team is 2-3. This is where I have a big problem when the team isn't winning your starts. So his team record is now at this point 2-3 in the month of June. He only makes 3 starts in the month of August. He pitches 5 innings, 4 innings, 3 innings, has a 5.2 ERA. So we're seeing a pattern here. He's got a good month and a bad month. A good month, an average month, and a bad month. 6 ERA in June. 3.3 ERA in July, 3 starts after the All-Star game, 5.2 ERA. September, when you really need this guy in meaningful games, he's 3-1 personally. The team is 4-1 personally. 6 innings, 5 innings, 5 innings, 5 innings, 5 2/3. He gives up 12 earned runs in 5 starts in 27 innings in the month of September. Not stellar pitching. He doesn't pitch much in the postseason. He starts 4 innings, has a 6.7 ERA in the postseason. The team wins both of those games, one against Cleveland, one against the Dodgers. He wasn't really in the rotation for the World Series. I mean, to me, listen, Rookie of the Year the guy is so sensational. We're basically saying that there's no better rookie in the American League in 2024 than Luis Gil. I could find you 5 better rookies than Gil in the American League this year.
MLB.com, very interesting, conflicting stories, I guess you could say. They said he busts the door down. Then they put rankings of the top 156 rookies in the history of Major League Baseball.
Was he 156?
I thought so, but no. He is at 114 out of 156. I don't know. I think this is going to make you even more mad. You guess who they had number 1 rookie, best rookie season ever in the history of rookies of the year? Jackie Robinson is number 1. Number 2?
Well, again, he was National League too. So,
right,
I mean,
right.
you're talking
1947.
Yeah, 1947 with the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Number 2, Ichiro.
Ichiro. I got a tattoo on my butt because of that guy's rookie season. Let me tell you about that. Guy had the most votes for the All-Star game. He had 242 hits. He hit 350, won the batting crown his first rookie of the year. So that's what we're talking about.
Right.
So Ichiro in 2001, when I basically said, yeah, he's coming over here, I don't think he's going to do well against our pitchers, I basically had to eat a giant crow sandwich, actually a full meal, an entree of crow. And get a tattoo on my butt, run around Times Square naked. Actually, I did it in a G-string. But yeah, Ichiro was a generational player that's going to the Hall of Fame. So when I think of Rookie of the Year, that's what I think of.
This is a really
Chris
good
Sabo.
list, man.
Chris Sabo, when Chris Sabo broke onto the scene in
Number
1988,
77, right?
yeah, he's in the top 100. But Chris played every day, played third base. He was a stellar third baseman that year on AstroTurf. I mean, arguably a great rookie year. I mean, that's what you're talking about. Guys who played every day all year. Ichiro, Sabo. Who else is on that list?
Jose Canseco had 33 home runs his rookie year. Do you know that?
I did not know that. I think I think McGuire had 49 home runs his rookie year. Did he win Rookie of the Year?
Yes, he is. He is one of the top 10 Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, 49 home runs is rookie year.
University Hartford's own Jeff Bagwell, number 57
Baggy
on this
pants.
list, 294
Hall of
batting
Famer,
average,
by the way.
242 total bases that year. Pitchers that both played in New York to put him against Luis Gil. Jacob deGrom, 2.69 ERA that rookie year. I did find it interesting. Luis Gil ranked 114 Rookie of the Year out of 156. 133 was Lou Piniella. 134 was Pete Rose. I did find some great baseball names, though. 1954 Rookie of the Year, Wally Moon, the NL Cardinal. Wally Moon. But the ranked 144 on MLB's list of Rookie of the Years, AL 1952, Harry Bird. Harry Bird.
Harry Bird.
What a name, Harry Bird. But
Who are your top 10 guys?
I do think Luis Gil is going to be like a trivia question for a while because of this Rookie of the Year. Hold on, let me go all the way to the top here. So number 1 was Jackie Robinson. Number 2, Ichiro Suzuki. Number 3, Mike Trout. He had 30 home runs, 49 stolen bases. This is when the bases were normal size. Then you have number 4, Fred Lynn. Fred Lynn, 331 batting average. His rookie year, 47 doubles. That was his claim to fame. Number 5, Aaron Judge, 52 home runs, Dibs. But I will argue, didn't he play like June, July, August, September the year before? Another quasi-rookie. Albert Pujols, 329 batting average his rookie year. He was number 6 on the list. Dwight Gooden, 17 wins as a rookie.
How many strikeouts?
276.
Gil had 171. Skeens
just off.
Skeens
So
in
close.
6. I didn't even get to Skeens. Skeens in 6 less starts, 170 strikeouts.
Alonso was 8. He had 53 home runs his rookie year, which puts him a scotch better than McGuire, who did have 49 home runs. You were correct, sir. He's number 9. Dick Allen. Big Dick Allen from the Phillies. 13 triples. That's when triples were a lot easier to come by. Mike Piazza. I'm still trying to find Paul Skeens on this list. He's not. Fernando. Oh, God. Shohei. Here come the Dodgers. Piazza.
All right, let me give you Hideo Nomo. Now, Hideo had already pitched over in Japan, so this was kind of an argumentative whole deal when he did it, though. But listen to these stats.
Yeah.
He pitched the whole year in 95, 28 starts, 191 innings pitched, only allowed 124. Remember, he had that kind of, Louis Tiant delivery, had an amazing forkball. 191 strikeouts, 124 hits, gave up only 14 home runs, 236 strikeouts in that season. He was 4th in the Cy Young Award in the National League that year, and he was Rookie of the Year. And this was a run, by the way, with the Dodgers, and they had some phenomenal teams in the 90s. They went on some good runs, and they had a bunch of Rookie of the Years in a row. I think it was Karros was one year. Piazza was another year. Nomo was another year. I'm missing somebody in there. But, they kind of had, like, Rookie of the Year locked up. They were bringing up or signing some amazing players. And Hideo came in. He was like Ichiro, who would come in 6-7 years later and win Rookie of the Year. And that was when we were having that huge argument of, well, these guys have already put in 5-6 years in Japan. They get posted, they come over here, and they're kind of veteran guys. So that was a huge argument. But this guy was legit. Hideo was legit. This guy pitched 12 years, ended up winning 123 games. But, the next year he would pitch 228 innings. The next year he pitched 207 innings. He would go 220 innings in his career. I don't think Luis Gil's going to be breaking 200 innings anytime soon.
No, but if you're on this list of rookies of the year, I mean, over the years with this list, you're turning into something, man. Like this list has not been wrong with a bunch of stinkers over time. Like most of these guys at least have 5 years service after this rookie of the year.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And most of them turn into something.
There's a lot that can be said to the beginning of your career where you're like, I guarantee like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird or Irvin Magic Johnson, these guys were all like candidates and probably won Rookie of the Year, and it catapulted their careers for 20 years, and they go into the Hall of Fame one day. I'm not trying to downgrade Luis Gil.
Right.
I think that's the way it should be. I hope Austin Wells has a career, but to look back in 20 years, if you have a 20-year career and go, the one thing I didn't do was win Rookie of the Year, and then you look back and you're going to be like, okay, I lost it to that guy who had like arguably 3 really bad months out of the 6 months that he played, and he was a pitcher, and I, to this day, I could talk to Johnny Bench, or I could talk to late Pete Rose, or any of these guys. They can't stand me. They love me, but they look at me like I'm second class because I'm a pitcher, and I agree with them on that. When you're getting 600 at bats and you're catching 150 games, or you're playing in the field 150 games, that is a big difference to me. What Austin Wells did this year was take the job basically away from Trevino, take his job, an all-star a couple years ago, as a guy with the New York Yankees. That's a considerable jump. When I look at Buster Posey or guys like that, when those guys were probably rookies of the year, those guys had some kick-ass careers. That's what I'm thinking of. Like I said, Chris Sabo, guys like that. I remember Chris was an integral part of us winning a world championship 2 years later after he won Rookie of the Year. He was playing third base when Tom Browning threw a perfect game. I could probably go back and say he made 2 or 3 plays in that game. So, to me, Rookie of the Year is a very special award. Cy Young Award is more of a pitcher's award.
What do we know about Juan Soto today? Where is he?
All right, so Juan Soto, the news was he met with the Mets. Steve Cohen and his team offered, and I'm sure Lindor was in there. I know Carlos Beltran was in there. And this is coming from Carlos Baerga, so I think that he's a close friend of Soto's and those people. He probably works for Boris as well. He said the offer was 15 years, $660 million. But then I listened to Michael Kay today on his radio program before ours, and he was talking about that Steve Cohen has told people close to him he will also counter-offer any of their offers and be $50 million more. And why that's significant is CC Sabathia, when he signed with the Yankees, he was already a done deal with the Dodgers. He's an Oakland kid, was going to build a house out there. He had been Cleveland, Milwaukee. He's like, done deal. I'm going to be at the Dodgers. It's not just about the money. I'm comfortable. This is my state. I want to be here. George Steinbrenner came in and said, nope, I'm going $50 million over the best offer. I'm giving you an offer you can't refuse. So I kind of think right now we're in uncharted territory. You're almost, you're $310 million more than Aaron Judge's deal. I can't compare this to Shohei. Shohei's a pitcher. He's a hitter. He just did 50-50, just won a world championship. So the $700 million, I think, is going to pay for itself with the Dodgers. So when I'm comparing him to other deals, I went back and looked at Bryce Harper's numbers. I've looked at some of the other Machado's numbers. Some of these guys that you're talking that he's going to make $360 million more than Machado. $310 million more than Aaron Judge. Is he that much better of a player than those guys to set the new bar at that kind of money? And my answer is absolutely no.
I totally agree with you, but you're dealing with an owner from Cohen that the rest of the owners have never dealt with before. A guy that really wants to win at all costs. We will literally take a loss in profit because he wants to win a World Series.
Yep.
There's not many owners in sports that are willing to do that. Most of these owners we talk about all the time, especially in this league, would rather sell the tickets to the circus than have the best circus in town. They just want the butts in the seats. They want the real estate check on the sale on the back end, and they could care less win or lose.
Right.
They just got to keep the business afloat. This owner wants to win, and he's already saying, I have more money to spend than everyone else. I'm going to buy the best team, and I'm not going to let anybody outspend me. He did it last year. He did it the year before. And I'm not going to be surprised if he wins this Juan Soto sweepstakes and is the highest bidder. Now, I'm also not going to be surprised if it comes back and it burns him. But he doesn't care. He'll write another check to fix that mess.
All right, so let's just start when he was 19. Did not win Rookie of the Year, was second.
Juan Soto,
He had 22 home runs, 70 RBI, hit 292 in 116 games and 500 play appearances, okay? Has never won an MVP. He has won some Silver Slugger awards. He's been a four-time All-Star. But here's the precedent. He's 25. He just turned 26 in October. You've got a guy with a career of 201 home runs, 592 RBI, 285 batting average. On-base percentage is through the roof in today's standards at 421. So all of those things. So the next guy that comparably gets to this level and is a Scott Boras client, he is going to compare to Juan Soto in 3 years.
Right.
Okay, so who the next guy is, the next generational talent. That's what scares me about this. There's no going backward here. When you set a precedent. Now, I don't think Shohei's $700 million is a precedent, but Alex Rodriguez's $252 in 2001 was.
Right.
The closest offer, as I continually say, and I've been doing this since then, was 125 by the Braves. And that was a Boras deal. It was a bad deal. It broke the owner of the Rangers back. He also owned the Dallas Stars. He was trying to make it in a couple of different sports. Tom Hicks never could turn back. You couldn't unring that bell. And then a few years later, they had to, because it was such a massive contract, on their knees, trade him to the Yankees. And I think it was Soriano that was the other guy that was the part of the deal for coming back for A-Rod, was a 40-40 guy with the Yankees. And so he ultimately would sign as a free agent and go to your Cubs and play left field. But my point is, at that time, nobody was ready for the 252 barrier. That was like breaking the sound barrier as far as money goes. And so then everything after that was like, okay, you have to compare it to Alex. You have to compare it to Alex, whether it was Griffey Jr., whether it was any of these other guys that were making that kind of money. So, to me, 660 now is going to be a one-way player, not a pitcher, not a Babe Ruth generational talent type guy like Shohei. It's going to be Juan Soto's standalone contract, where you're paying this guy over 15 years, $44 million annually. The next deal, whether it's 10 years, is going to be $440. Whether it's 11 years, is going to be $484. And so my point is, from that point on, anybody who's averaging, let's see, he averages per 162 games a year, 35 home runs a year, 102 RBI a year, hits 285 a year, will be asking as a free agent $44 million annually.
I also think Boras and Juan Soto have a lot of leverage when it comes to the timing of talent and the free agents that exist. I would argue that
there's nobody out there close to him.
Like last year, we were waiting for the Shohei domino to drop, and boy, were we going to start seeing movement and action. All these guys are going to get money and move around. You got Peter Alonso, you got Alec Baum, you got the new Japanese sensation pitcher over in Japan, and
Roki.
Teoscar Hernandez
is going to get a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, maybe 3 at $70 million.
I guess Peter Alonso would be the closest, and even then,
Peter's not getting 200.
You're dropping.
If Peter Alonso,
$500 million, $500 million.
If Peter Alonso gets $200 million, I will be surprised. His best offer from the Mets, and this is the same owner, was $154.
And for him, timing is great as well, because he is the second best.
Oh, absolutely.
Second best. But when it comes to the Juan Soto sweepstakes, that winner's winning big this year. Not compared to next year, because like you said, Japan coming with Shohei, pitcher, player, 50-50. Like, it's not going to be duplicated. Not by Juan Soto. He doesn't have a whole country coming with him as far as new eyeballs, new marketing.
And
but
remember,
he is
like
the best right now.
Now, Anthony Santander, He hit 44 home runs, but these guys are all old.
Exactly.
These guys are old. Bregman is old.
Right.
These guys have 10 years of service in the major leagues.
There's not a pitcher
Alonso
that's
has
out
6
there.
or 7, 8 years, and he's 32, I think.
Right.
I mean, so you're looking at a guy who's 6 years younger than his next closest competition, and that's where Boris gets you. That's where, when he puts this phone book of information down in front of Steve Cohen and his bean counters, they're like, well, there's nobody else in this thing. And he did that 23 years ago with A-Rod. Did the exact same, this is a generational talent. He did the same thing with Strasburg. He's done the same thing with all of his clients. They're generational guys and blah, blah, blah. And these people eat it hook, line, and sinker. And then the regret is not going to be having Soto. The regret is trying to deal with another Boers client for the next giant guy in 3, 4, 5 years.
Yep.
You know, like Bobby Witt Jr. Where does Bobby Witt Jr. go in 3 years when he's a free agent?
Great question.
You know,
Great
you're
question.
not going to pay that dude $660.
All right.
And he's a hell of a shortstop and a hell of a player, and he's probably going to be up there in MVP every year. I think he's probably was number 2 this year for MVP behind Judge. So, I mean, when you're talking, you know, Bobby Witt Jr., his credentials might be better than Soto's in a couple of years when he's 27 years old, and he's going to be like, what, I only get $30 million annually or $35 million annually? That's the problem that's going to happen here in 3 or 4 years.